Hey guys, how's it going? Another project we've been working on, we're about to begin actually, is getting a fish finder put on my buddy's kayak. He has the same kayak I do. I haven't got a fish finder yet. Eventually I probably will. Secretly, I'm going to let him be the guinea pig to see what I like about his and what I don't. But don't tell him. Shh, here he comes. So we're about to go ahead and get started. We're not going to finish the whole task today. We're just going to get it going. The kayak is already flipped over from where we made a keel guard for it, so we are going to go ahead and do some of the work underneath, and then probably tomorrow we'll get back to it and start working on it again. What we're going to be doing today is, let me turn this camera around here. Right here is the Guardian transducer shield. It's retractable. There's a pull cord to pull it in and out. We're going to work on mounting his transducer right here to this. I'm going to show you guys a few of the things we're going to be using. Alright, we're going to be putting on the Garmin Striker Vivid 5. It's a Garmin Striker 5 Vivid CV. Comes with a transducer. It's perfect size for a kayak. The 4 would work, but we do have a pretty big kayak, so the extra screen will be nice. Then there's an elephant battery case, and if you look inside here, already has this wiring harness built in, so it's completely watertight. Keep all the water out of this, and then we'll figure out a way to mount this to the kayak. This is a 7 amp hour Dakota lithium battery. It's around $80. It's a really good battery. It's super lightweight compared to the deer feeder batteries that a lot of people use. There's nothing wrong with those. I actually have one at the house that I will likely use when I start mine, and then I'll probably upgrade to this down the road. I'm going to try to put a little bit more money into my actual unit and then buy this later. We also got the Hobie H-rail mount with a Scotty attachment up here for the bottom of the fish finder. So the actual fish finder console will mount to the top of this right here, and then it'll go on his H-rail. So it should be a pretty clean install when we get done. It's the first time we've ever done something like this on a kayak, so we'll see how it goes. We're looking forward to trying it out, testing it out, seeing exactly what benefit the fish finder will have out there for us. Again, this is a Garmin Striker 5 Vivid CV. You can tell just looking at this all the detail it has, which is what makes it the Vivid CV unit. Should be a fun install, so y'all stay tuned. We'll see how it goes. If you look over here, my buddy already has the shield off, and he is currently cleaning it because he's a filthy animal. Go back over here, take a look at what we got going on. You can see the inside here. You see how it has this hole here that goes up in. There's actually if we look underneath, you can see this right here is where those wires come through, and it sits directly under your seat is where that particular hole is. So if you look, the wires can go straight up into there. Alright, so from the Hobie comes with these brackets right here. You slide them down into this, and then there's a bolt that runs through it. All this comes with your Hobie kayak. And then additionally you have the transducer, which we mounted to this bracket right here. It has 5 screws. We've already put in 2 of them. We're about to install the others. So stand by and we'll get back to showing you where this goes. Alright guys, so we got all of those 5 bolts in and tightened down. Now we are going to see if we can figure out how to get this thing on here from there. Alright, so we got the transducer on there. He's currently showing me how he's running the cable because I'm curious. So this particular transducer does not have to retract because it's going on the inside of the shield. If it had side scan, it would have to go on the outside. There we go. So he's currently running the cable through.
sit right like that.
We should be good to go and put the screws back in, right?
Yeah. Where did I put these screws? Oh, I know where they are.
So we will put these screws back in, the transducer's inside this shield, and theoretically it should work if he didn't mess it up. Alright guys, so we just got these 3 screws back in. So you take all 3 of those. To remove this, all you have to do is take those 3 screws out and this whole plate comes off. There's a rope that ties on the inside to retract this, but you don't need that in this case. Like I said, this particular transducer can go on the inside of the shield. No need to retract it. Now if it was mounted on the outside, you'd want this to push in to protect that transducer. So we got the kayak flipped back over. The wires ran through this plate that goes down into the transducer. This is a through hole that's already built into the kayak. Hobie makes it really easy to install these things. That's in the hole. No, that's in the transducer shield.
Yep.
Rookie mistake.
Oh,
we might be able to get it by just removing that. We can try. Either way, guys, so that's removed now. So the wire is going to go down in here. And then you have to remove this foam here so that you can get the wire to carry it to either that through hole right there or this one over here, depending on which side you're putting in the fish finder on. So we're going to work on getting this foam removed, getting that screw that he just dropped back out, and getting the wire ran from there to there. Alright guys, so when you do this, the gasket goes on first. Before you put the grommets that go on there, you have to run the wire through the hole, or at least through the first hole. You want to run that through and I'll grab it? Can you feed it through to me?
yeah, just keep going. Taking the kinks out as it goes.
Once we get all the slack, I can go ahead and put the foam back in place.
There. That's how it goes.
Alright, it goes in there, and then you have that piece there. Then you put the grommet on this wire, put that piece that the grommet slides into back on here, and then you screw it down. So y'all can watch as he does this. And as you see, that grommet goes on the wire itself to help make it watertight. It won't be waterproof, but there's not going to be a whole lot of water that goes through there. Literally, for water to get in there, it would have to go through that hole, which is raised off the bottom. So you're going to have to be flooded out in order for that to happen. You see how clean that looks, guys? Nice clean install. Hobie really thought about this. Now there's other brands of kayaks. I have an Old Town that it's really my wife's kayak. And it's a great kayak, well built, but they don't think about things like this like Hobie does. That's why Hobie costs so much money. It's because all of this is pre-done. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to drill into the kayak. You don't have to worry about warranty issues. You can do a really clean install because they've already thought about all of this. Alright guys, I was able to get the foam back in place down there. You can see the wires coming right here to the side so that we can run it up to one of these 2. So this is the wiring that comes with the Elephant battery box. We actually just wrapped some electrical tape around here. These wires come down and wrap around you can wrap it around the cord here and then tape it up just to keep it managed well. And this plugs directly into the battery box, and the other end down here plugs into the Garmin. Alright guys, so we have run the cable from the transducer up to this through hole right here. We have run the cable from the battery box that we're going to store under here over to that hole there. And we have mounted the Garmin head unit to this mount that I previously showed you. This mount connects right there, has these screws. You can easily take it on and off. You can take the whole thing off right here, so it's easily removable for traveling or anything else you need to do to it. You can see how easy that head unit came off. and how easy that is removed. All you have to do is unplug the cables. So next we are going to work on getting these grommets in place, put the through hole back on, get the wiring connected, and get all of the wire managed in there. And if all's correct, we should be done at that point. So you have to make sure that gasket is in place. You have to get all the grommets in place.
Got it. Well,
see if he can do it without my assistance.
that's done.
So through hole's on, has both cables, the battery cable and the transducer cable running through it. Should be pretty watertight. We need to connect the battery box, coil all the cables where we want them under there. And he has enough cable that he can slide it back this way if he wants to, or he can run it right here. He could always push these cables in or pull them out if he needs a little bit more up to what we don't coil. So we're going to work on that off camera and we'll be back shortly. I'll show you the end result. Alright folks, we have power. So we have the battery box still down there. We have the wires run through there and plugged into the unit, which is back mounted. We have not coiled any wires yet, but we are getting to that, I promise. Currently he has power and is working on the setup. And what it'll look like with the clear view. You can change the color and there's several other settings you can do, but this is the clear view. So for cable management, what we decided to do was wrap the cords here a couple of times, making sure there's plenty of slack, not to put any stress on the unit, and then have them just coming straight up. This keeps it in line with the head unit itself, so that you don't have any cableage coming off this side that might interfere with the casting. It was an idea that Dustin came up with all by himself. I didn't have any part of that idea. Alright guys, so we finished the coiling of the wire. It is right here. Has a little bit of slack to give, but it also sits nice and neatly tucked back in there. So this thing is pretty much done. The only thing left to do is get it on the water and test it out, which he may or may not do today. It is nice weather, so maybe he'll get that done. After that, you can put your hatch back in there, close it up. You got your battery in there. You got that closed up. You got that closed up. And all you have is a mess-free fish finder on your Hobie Pro Angler 14. You can see there's very limited wire exposure when you're taking this off. You can unplug these cables, remove it from the whole thing if you want, or just remove the head unit. You can push these back inside here and cap them off with these caps. He's so serious.